Hey engineers, did you know that the full moon that's in November is called the beaver moon? Why do you think that it's called the beaver moon? Well, the indigenous people named it the beaver moon because they noticed that beavers started taking shelter in their lodges after they had collected food for the long winter. During this time, fur traders in North America also used to trap beavers because they had the thick, warm pelt. When cold weather comes, animals do 3 things. 1, they adapt to their environment, or 2, they migrate or move away from that cold weather. My grandma and grandpa used to migrate. They would go to California for the winter. Or 3, they hibernate. Let's learn a little bit more about hibernation.
Groundhogs are little animals that are about half a meter long. They live in the United States and Canada and spend a lot of their time in burrows that they dig into the ground. And right now, groundhogs are trying to get everything ready for a perfect cozy den. They're preparing for hibernation. Hibernation is like a deep, deep sleep that some animals go into during the winter. They'll sleep for months and they don't wake up until spring. Oh, those animals aren't necessarily sleepy squeaks. Hibernation is a way for animals to survive the colder winter months. You see, animals normally need plenty of food to survive. But during cold winter months, lots of the food that animals like to eat goes away. In snowy, cold places, the leaves fall off the trees. Fruit stops growing, and even the bugs go away. For animals that eat these things, it can be a hungry few months. To survive, some animals will migrate, meaning they'll travel somewhere else where there's more food, like birds that fly to somewhere warmer. Other animals, like squirrels, will store food away to eat when it's cold. But animals like groundhogs can't move somewhere else, and they can't store enough food to last all winter. That's right, Squeaks! They have to hibernate. If a groundhog is hibernating, it doesn't matter if there isn't a lot of food around, because the groundhog is fast asleep. I know you still need to wake up and eat after sleeping, but it's different for hibernating animals because hibernating is more than a long nap. Animals spend a long time preparing for hibernation. Before they hibernate, a groundhog will spend weeks eating as much as possible. That little groundhog becomes a great big groundhog with a thick layer of body fat. Then, once it's time, they'll cuddle up in their burrow and go to sleep. Now, normally, when a groundhog goes to sleep, their body rests a little bit, but their lungs keep breathing and their heart keeps pumping blood normally. To keep working, the groundhog's lungs and heart need energy from the food they eat. But during the type of very deep sleep the groundhog goes into when they hibernate, their lungs and heart slow way down. Their heart only beats about 5 times a minute, and they only breathe about twice a minute. They go so slowly, they don't use as much energy. And since the groundhog's body isn't using very much energy, they don't have to wake up every day to eat more food. Instead, they can use the energy they've already stored. That's right, Squeaks! The groundhog uses the energy they stored up from eating all of that food in the weeks before they hibernated. The layer of fat the groundhog put on in the fall slowly gets used up for energy. And by the time the groundhog needs to wake up to eat, it's time for spring. Lots of different animals can hibernate, like bats, chipmunks, and hedgehogs. Bats will even hibernate in large colonies, all huddled together to share warmth.
Well, there's your STEM challenge for the week. You are to create a hibernation station for one of your stuffed animals. For an extra challenge, can you build a hibernation station inside and a different one outside? Pick whatever kind of animal you want. They do not have to be hibernators. Let's take a look at what supplies you need. For the Build a Hibernation Station challenge, you are to construct a hibernation station that will protect your animal over the long winter. For the materials, you'll need either a stuffed or a toy animal, and you can use any objects that you can think of. But remember, you must build the hibernation station. A couple things to think about as you're building. How will you keep your animal warm? And how will your animal be camouflaged? For my hibernation station, I have my little pet elk, some sit spots, some wooden trays, my deer fur, and some wooden blocks. Here's how mine turned out. I wanted to have something to keep my little elk warm inside of there. So there he is. And for my extra credit, outside hibernation station, I've got Bunny Hop Hop for my animal, and then I'm gonna use whatever I find out here. I am ready to show you my outdoor hibernation station, but so I don't forget, let me remind you that when you put your stuffed animal down outside to create your hibernation station, don't forget where you put your stuffed animal, because I lost Bunny Hop Hop for a few minutes until I could find and remember where I built my hibernation station. So here is how my outdoor extra challenge hibernation station turned out. Here it is in all of its glory. It's kind of hard, little tricky to see Bunny Hop Hop, but as you go in closer, there he is. So the materials I used were a bunch of big sticks and logs and some pieces of bark that are in there. And then I used some Technia arborvitae tree branches. That, very important, I did not break off of any trees. I found them on the ground. Please don't go breaking trees to create your hibernation station. And then I also found some pine branches. I think he's got a pretty safe, good, warm spot for hibernation, even though he's not gonna hibernate because he's a rabbit. We can't wait to see what you come up with. Good luck with your hibernation station.